Welcome back. Well, steel is very much in the news. We have not only seen Asian markets and the Indian steel stocks rising today in response to a positive, a spring in the step, an expectation of the fiscal package, and very good China numbers. All that is helping. And then there is news that Liberty Steel Group has made an offer to acquire ThyssenKrupp Steel in Europe. Does this offer indicate that steel sector is on the mend? We are asking two experts, Rakesh Arora, the managing partner, Go India Advisors, and David Lennox, analyst at Fat Profits. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Well, David, to you first, what have you made of the move in steel prices and their likely move now that the Chinese GDP and factory output data is pretty strong?
Oh, there's no doubt that we're going to see what we think is a V-shaped recovery certainly coming through in China. And if that's the case, then we are going to see demand for steel improve as this particular country is a big consumer and exporter of steel. So we're looking for the steel prices to actually continue to recover, primarily, as you said, on the back of these stimulatory programs that we believe are going to start flowing through. More so now aimed at infrastructure spending rather than what we saw earlier in the COVID-19 when they were aimed at supporting employment.
Rakesh Arora is also with us, the managing partner at Go India Advisors and someone who has watched this space very closely for decades. Rakesh, hi, good morning. Everything seems to be going well for the steel sector. Prices are up, input costs are lower, demand has improved as well. What is your own assessment of the key triggers now, and from an investment perspective, how would you approach this space?
So all commodities go through a cycle, and I'm expecting that steel cycle, which has just started, is likely to continue well into 2021 year also. From Indian steel companies' perspective, they are into a Goldilocks situation because globally iron ore prices are at like a 2 to 3 year high, whereas coking coal prices are low. And since India doesn't really require global expensive iron ore, Indian steel companies are benefiting quite a bit. And that trend will continue going forward. If you factor in the recent news flow regarding coking coal imports being banned into China, it's still to be confirmed. But that could mean that India get access to coking coal, which is largely imported at a much cheaper price, and help steel companies do better margins.
Okay, Rakesh, is there a restocking frenzy, and will that give this rise in prices more legs?
So Indian steel prices are now already like 2 to 3% premium to import parity price. But generally in India, we have a busy season from October, November to March, and prices normally tend to rise. So I would tend to think that one, the premium is going to expand. Number two, I expect steel prices globally to also go up, because if you look at the margins which Chinese steel companies are making, they are tending to zero. And with coking coal cost going up for them, I don't think they have any wherewithal to absorb it. So steel prices globally should move up, and Indian prices should move up in any case because we are into our busy season. And number three, as you said, restocking. So restocking is going to play a big role. Apparent demand will be much higher than the real demand.
Okay. What about steel stocks? I know you may not want to comment on individual stocks, but I'm asking because, say the biggest player like Tata Steel has done nothing for investors. I mean, 2 years back, it was at almost 600 rupees and now it's sub 400. You think the tide will turn, fortunes will change for some of these stocks?
So, they move in cycles, and currently they are midway into that cycle. So most of the stocks are trading like one-time book. Whereas they can easily go up to 2-time book if there's some bullishness, which we expect. Okay. So I would say there's more legs to all these steel names, even from here on. And as I said, the rally is going to continue well into 2021. So there's enough time also.
Okay, David, then the same question to you. We have this Liberty House announcement for an offer to buy ThyssenKrupp Europe. This appears to be a bet that steel prices will do well for some time now, even in Europe. What is your understanding of steel prices, both in the Eastern Hemisphere, also in Europe?
Look, certainly if you have a look at what's happening in Europe, we've seen poor old steelmakers, they're really struggling in terms of sourcing raw materials at competitive prices, and also, unfortunately, their operating costs tend to be rising on the back of the compliance that they have to meet in terms of various environmental regulations across the European Union. So from that perspective, you would really have to see steel prices rise in Europe for those margins to improve. And in fact, if you have a look at ThyssenKrupp, they really have been struggling, and we know that they've been selling assets off to shore up their balance sheets. So from that perspective, if you're going to go in and Liberty buy ThyssenKrupp now, then one would suspect that now is the right time to do that, because we believe, as we've already talked about, we are perhaps on the verge of an improvement in steel prices, certainly as we see that demand in steel start to rise on the back of infrastructure spending.
Okay, well, I want to ask you, Rakesh, a similar question then. We know that Tata Steel has been trying to sell its European assets. They managed to sell just a small piece last year, I think, to Liberty House. But in this atmosphere where the expectation is that over the next couple of years, you said FY21 as well, steel prices will improve. Is there a chance that such a deal can get done?
So if you come to European steel market, I think there's a need for consolidation. And Tata Steel and ThyssenKrupp earlier, tried to consolidate their operations, which would have merged second and the fourth largest steel companies. And that would have created a lot of synergies and pricing power. Unfortunately, the deal couldn't go through because of the European Commission approval didn't come through. I think, ThyssenKrupp is talking to a lot of other steel companies also, apart from Liberty. And hopefully something will come out. From Tata Steel's perspective, they have much higher synergies with ThyssenKrupp. So if they can push the deal through, I think it is better for Tata Steel rather than Liberty.
Okay.
And also one is hoping that the pain point for Tata Steel is the Port Talbot plant in UK. And there is some interest from some Chinese buyers, as we read from media. If that goes through, then Tata Steel would be off the hooks. This has been the major pain point for the investors. So that is the one news one need to look out. Some resolution on the UK plant for Tata Steel.
All right, Rakesh and David, thanks so much for joining us and giving us your views. So those are two industry experts saying that steel prices, although are at the highest since June of 2019, expect them to move up further. Demand and supply both seem to be favorable for the sector. But let's talk.